welcome to a special edition of Pravda TV. Today we delve into the heart of global geopolitics and strategic shifts. We are privileged to host His Excellency Mr. Mohammad Noor Rahman Sheikh, the Ambassador of India to Lebanon. In this episode, we will discuss India's emerging role as a leading power in 2026, its presidency of BRICS, the strategic IMEC corridor, and the future of India-Lebanon relations in the field of security and technology. Your Excellency, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
India today is not merely adapting to the global order, it is actively reshaping it. From space and digital power to strategic autonomy, India has emerged as one of the most pivotal actors of 2025 and 2026. The question is no longer what India wants from the world, but what role the world plays in India's vision. Where does a country like Lebanon stand in that vision?
Well, thank you, Kathy, for this interview and for our dialogue. For India, all the countries that we have ties are important, and also, of course, with Lebanon, India established its diplomatic ties in 1954. And, it has always kept its embassy open despite, the country going through difficult times, at particular times. So the idea is that, the relations is going great, I would say. And Lebanon, of course, is an important partner for India. Mm-hmm. People-to-people contact, the political understanding between the leaders. There's regular exchanges of messages between the leaders of both countries, including the President of Lebanon, His Excellency General Joseph Aoun, and our President, Her Excellency Mrs. Draupadi Murmu, and our Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji. There's a lot of things that goes on, at various aspects. For example, just last month, on 30 and 31st of January, there was this second Indo-Arab Foreign Ministers meeting in New Delhi, hosted by India. The first edition was in Bahrain in 2016. And, the invitation was there from our Foreign Minister, External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, to the Foreign Minister of Lebanon, Ambassador Yusuf Razi. But it is, prior commitments, he couldn't go, but he deputed Ambassador Ibrahim Asaf, Director, Political and Consular Affairs, to lead the Lebanese delegation. And in that, there was a Delhi Declaration, which was, adopted on 31st January, and it actually contains, a para, on Lebanon, and this is part of it. This is a Delhi Declaration, and it mentions about a para on Lebanon. And it calls on, for example, support for the decision of the government of Lebanon to restrict the possession of arms exclusively in the hands of legitimate security agencies, and to assert the authority of the Lebanese state over its entire territories solely through its national forces, and call for respect for Lebanon's territorial integrity, internationally recognized borders, for the cessation of all violations of Lebanese sovereignty, and stress the importance of implementing UNSC 1701. And it goes on all those. So the whole, what I'm trying to say is, in an event, in a meeting like that, Lebanon has the position of Lebanon is well reflected there. So for India, I always feel that Lebanon is an important partner, and more so say in terms of the economic ties. In the last 3 years, that bilateral trade has increased from about 220 to about $600 million. It's growing very well, and we see it every day when we get visa applications of Lebanese wanting to go to India. And also Indians coming here, the business and tourists and others. So, and of course we have our Indian battalion in UNIFIL, for the last 27, 28 years. That's another indication of the strength of our relationship. So we believe that Lebanon certainly occupies a very important position in India's scheme of things, and also like we have been supporting each other in various international fora, multilateral bodies, elections, and statements. I just saw the recent meetings thing. So I think for us, Lebanon is an important partner.
So it's shifting toward more result-oriented partnership.
Yes, certainly, yes, certainly,
both
yes,
countries.
certainly,
Yeah.
So yes, and a lot of things have happened in the last couple of years, I would say,
Yeah.
which someone would not be able to even think about it that this would happen. The relationship in the cultural front has become so much more vibrant. Yoga, Ayurveda, so popular here. The ties between Khalil Gibran and
Cultural,
and Nobel laureate
level,
Rabindranath Tagore has been exhibited very broadly with the place installation of the bust of Tagore in Gibran Museum. There's a lot of interest in India's capacity building programs here in Lebanon. So India offers 75 scholarships every year. Earlier it used to be only for the government officials. We have opened it for the private professionals also, and we see that we have so far got about 60 nominations. For this for the year. So we believe that there's a lot of interest now for India. Also in Lebanon, in the similar way in India, there's a lot of interest for Lebanon. So that's the kind of thing that we see. Yes.
So that perspective on leadership of India leads us directly to India's role on the broader global stage. As India assumes the BRICS chairship for 2026, how will New Delhi lead the group in creating a more inclusive multilateral order while acting as a bridge for the global south?
Well, just last month on 13th of January, our foreign minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, in a meeting when launching, India's chairmanship of BRICS, where the website of BRICS, 2026 was launched, the logo was also launched, and vision for India's chairship was also presented to the world, I would say. In India's chairship, there are 4 pillars that we would be focusing on. These are the theme of this is building for resilience, innovation, cooperation, and sustainability. So these are the 4 pillars that we will be working on. And idea is, how to respond to the changing global realities while remaining focused on people-centric development. So I think the center of all of it should be the people, right? Then fostering dialogue and promoting practical cooperation. So this is what we intend to do, and this is the vision that has been laid out by our foreign minister during our chairship, which will run through this year. And we also would like to congratulate Brazil for successfully being the chair last year, and we hope that this year we'll be able to come out with a lot of outcomes which will impact positively for the world at large also. Yes.
There is also the physical map of connectivity regarding the IMEC corridor. Despite current regional volatility and the strategic logic of this connectivity project, still a long-term priority for India in this region is still
yes, certainly. Yes, certainly. As you are aware, IMEC, India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor, was announced during India's G20 presidency in October 2023 in New Delhi. And when this was announced, the idea was to how connect India with the whole of Middle East and also Europe, by of course laying, expanding the sea lanes, expanding the train corridors, the road network, the seaport networks, and things like that. And a lot of things, a lot of works are already on progress, I would say, and it's just a huge project. I mean, you will see a lot of ports being developed or redeveloped. You will see a lot of rail tracks being laid. I mean, if you see the port of Jebel Ali is the port that will connect India to the rest of the Middle East, for example. And then from Jebel Ali, you have both roads and rail tracks to be developed, right? Roads are there, of course, but the railway tracks needs to be developed there. Then you have a lot of infrastructure works that would go on with that. Now we are very happy that India and the US the trade deal has come out. With when President Trump and Prime Minister Modi spoke a few days before, and I think because the US was also playing a very important role in initiating this particular proposal or initiative. So I think with this, I think IMEC will also, gain, its speed, will also gain momentum, and the work that is going on will also kind of, get deeper and wider. And I believe that this, everyone who are part of this corridor will stand, will stand to gain out in this. And of course, certainly regions stability, peace is very important. Like for any economic activity to kind of sustain, to succeed, it also needs to have this peaceful ecosystem.
Exactly.
So we believe that with the ceasefire that was achieved in Gaza and being worked out, and of course we see that with that by the ceasefire in Lebanon. Then of course efforts which are going on, even at a bigger scale of say Russia, Ukraine, war to be ended. And with all those things, in Yemen, for example, there is this proposal for, how to bring in peace over there. So with all these initiatives, I think the region will stand to gain, to have a viable, IMEC project in place and to benefit everyone in the region and around in the world.
That's why while we look at these long-term corridors, we must also look at the immediate stability on the ground here.
Yes, certainly.
How does India reaffirm its commitment to UNIFIL and its troop in South Lebanon, given the current security challenges, Your Excellency?
Well, we have been part of UNIFIL since November 1998, and we are very proud of our peacekeepers. They have been doing excellent human service by not only doing the peacekeeping activities, but also doing a lot of community work with in collaboration for the benefit of the local Lebanese population. So they have been doing a lot of medical camps, veterinary camps, IT training programs, various women empowerment initiatives. And various other activities that are valued by the local population, by by the Lebanese government, by LAF, and by everyone actually. So we are very committed to our peacekeepers, the Indian peacekeepers being part of UNIFIL. Of course, it would depend on the mandate of UNIFIL. But as long as the mandate is there, we always have the commitment to be part of this peacekeeping process, because for us, I think it's important that peace comes to the country. I mean, the intelligent and smart people of Lebanon needs to get that opportunity to make this country once again very vibrant, fully growing and developed country, I would say.
India is the pharmacy of the world. Does India see Lebanon as a future platform of its pharmaceutical and tech industries during this recovery phase?
Well, I would say certainly, why not? I mean, a lot of companies here have also been, working with Indian partners in the pharmaceutical sector. We see that a lot of these companies, import APIs and various, other generic medicines, for example, are becoming very popular in Lebanon, and a lot of them are coming from India. We see a lot of the companies which have tie-ups with, European companies also work with Indian companies. So there's a lot of, what I always find interesting about Lebanon is of course, the strong human resource capital the country has, also the location of the country. I mean, you are in Middle East. Africa is quite close by. You have Europe on the just few hours away. So I think this locational advantage has been leveraged to its benefit, which India appreciates very highly. And when you talk about the technology, of course, I mean, India is also is one of the top countries with IT and other infrastructure and those new innovations, things like that. But at the same time, I think a lot of companies in Lebanon are already working with Indian IT sector. AI, for example, the AI is the new flavor now. It is now becoming quite popular, quite wider and deeper. And there is an AI summit in India, in Delhi, in the middle of this month. And there are a few Lebanese also going for participating in that summit as well. So there's a lot of work this is going on in tech, in pharmaceuticals, in vaccines. I mean, during, of course, COVID, we saw, India, supplied vaccines to 67 countries around the world for free. I mean, we were not waiting for, to gain profit out of it. We were actually helping the whole world, to face that pandemic. So like that. So for India, I would say it's not just the profitable part of it, the profits part of it, or the commercial part of it. I think it's more to do, we have quite people-centric. I mean, when we talk of generic medicines, what we are looking at is, it is high quality but very affordable.
Yeah,
so when these medicines come here, it becomes affordable to everyone. You don't need to look for only the branded medicines, and then which are quite, maybe the prices is much higher than the generic medicines. So we're very happy that the health ministry is, fully, supporting this initiative. The president of the country, General His Excellency General Joseph Aoun, is aware of this, utility of the generic medicine. So I believe there is a lot of scope that can grow in future, but there's a lot of receptivity or reception of these ideas and products. Yeah.
It's clear that India's role is multi-layered, Your Excellency. What is the most significant misconception the world still holds regarding India's independent foreign policy or strategic autonomy in 2026?
Well, I think misconceptions, I wouldn't say the word misconception anymore, because the people, the countries around the world are understanding that India plays a role which is what you call it, independent, at the same time aware that India brings to the table the need for peace, calling for development, calling for that everyone needs to be benefited of this whole international economic order. And things like that. So, for example, when we talk of the conflict, whether it was in Gaza or whether it was in Lebanon, or even the currently ongoing, Russia-Ukraine conflict, or anywhere else, if you see, India is one of the countries which call for peace, ending, violence, calling for peace. Let the people, be given that opportunity to, to enjoy peace and then, to grow. So I think India's foreign policy is focused on those aspects, and we are very happy that we have great relations with,
with all countries.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So we are, I think, doing very well in terms of, because the leadership that our Prime Minister, His Excellency Mr. Narendra Modi provides. And of course, ably supported by a foreign minister, again a seasoned diplomat, Dr. S. Jaishankar, it's visible everywhere. I mean, if you see the relations with all the global leaders around the world, I mean, they are very, very friendly. They are very close. And I think this is shown. I mean, like in the statements that are produced, that are made, and the results. If you see the India-EU trade deal, for example, during India's Republic Day last month, EU President and European Council President were chief guests in that, and then on 27 we had this India-EU trade deal. I mean, like, this is one of the historical trade deals. Is referred to as mother of all deals. Trade deals. So this would actually enhance the trade by billions of dollars. Similarly, the trade deal that we have we are having with US, just announced a few days before, that will lead to an enhancement of about trade by $150 billion. So we are talking of increasing the trade volume by several hundreds of billion dollars more. I mean, like. So I think this is all again linked to the foreign policy. Like ultimately, foreign policy is just not about politics. I would say it's a lot of things are to be done with the economic part of it, because that is where the real human needs are, right? So, and I think we are doing quite well, and we are very happy to have the support of friendly countries like Lebanon. We are very happy that the people of Lebanon are understanding of this position, and I have not seen anyone like here who does not like India. I mean, like whomever I have spoken to, and I feel it. I mean, like We will keep up to this, stature. We also do a lot of other works, like in Lebanon particularly. If you see, we have these quick impact projects where we do, several projects around, the country, whether it be renovation of hospitals, whether it is renovation of sports stadium, or street lighting, of solar street lighting in several municipal areas, providing motorcycles to municipal police, or providing water pump to agricultural area for this thing, water supply, setting up of IT training labs by providing computer sets. Few years, 2 years before, we provided 33 tons of medicines when medicines were a requirement here. We are working on having an artificial limb fitment camp where we will provide artificial limbs to about 500 Lebanese nationals who are in need of that. So this is an ongoing process, and we will continue to do this. So our foreign policy is a reflection of what we require to be of benefit to the people at large also.
Great.
So that's how we see that.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
To conclude our discussion, Mr. Ambassador, what is the specific message from the government of India to the Lebanese people during these challenging times?
We always respect the decisions taken by the government, particularly for having peace and stability in the country. For example, making the government to allow to focus on development of the country, to assert its territorial integrity and sovereignty, and also have great and excellent relations with countries around the world. And we are very happy with how things are moving here. I mean, with the election of the president and then the formation of the government, various legislations and amendments and laws being brought in. I think the country is going in the right direction, and India will always stay ready to work together with the government of Lebanon and people of Lebanon for the benefit of Lebanon, as well as, of course, to strengthen these bilateral ties. Yeah.
Great. Your Excellency, thank you for this insightful and timely conversation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. Welcome to a special edition of Pravda TV. Today we delve into the heart of global geopolitics and strategic shifts. We are privileged to host His Excellency Mr. Mohammed Noor Rahman Sheikh, the Ambassador of India to Lebanon. In this episode, we will discuss India's emerging role as a leading power in 2026, its presidency of BRICS, the strategic IMEC corridor, and the future of India-Lebanon relations in the field of security and technology. Your Excellency, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.